Well, this particular politician asked Greta Thunberg about the emotional toll of climate change on her child. This is child abuse. These people shouldn't be allowed to have bloody kids, in my opinion. But anyway, have a listen.
I just wanted to ask you one question. I have a 9-year-old daughter. I have 3 kids. And I told my 9-year-old daughter that I was going to be speaking with you. And I said, what do you think about the climate change? And she said, the earth is on fire and we're all going to die soon. And I asked her how that made her feel. And she said it made her feel angry. What should I tell my daughter? And how should I help her and the youngest generation bear the emotional toll of the actions that we're taking?
The best medication against anger and anxiety is to take action yourself.
So, Rita, explain this. Am I being unfair? I mean, this woman's 9-year-old girl is freaked out, thinks the world is burning up and we're all going to die. And her mum, instead of saying, it's okay, calm down, rushes off and speaks to Greta Thunberg, who suddenly is a diagnostician able to cure mental illnesses as well with the medication of climate change activism. This is horrific.
Yeah, I wonder where her daughter got the idea that the world is on fire and we're all going to die soon. I mean, imagine growing up with that fear if you believe that's your future. It is just so cruel. I mean, I grew up for quite a few years in a war zone where we actually could have died at any time. And I wasn't that bloody frightened. These are the world's luckiest kids. They're born into privilege. They're living in peaceful, prosperous times. And yet we're inflicting this emotional trauma on them. They literally think they're going to die and their family is going to die soon, as that woman said, from climate change. It is obscene.
Well, it's child abuse through and through, but it gets worse. It goes from that sort of craziness to pure out-and-out Marxism. James, have a listen to this. She's the new kid on the block. Poor old Greta's gone. She's history. She's ancient news. She's been, there's a new one, Zie Bastida. She's the new 19-year-old who's taken them all by storm. Have a listen.
The climate crisis is the result of those perpetuating and upholding the harmful systems of colonialism, oppression, capitalism, and market-oriented greenwash solutions. We demand that you stop fossil fuel investments and subsidies. We demand that you stop any new fossil fuel infrastructure and existing fossil fuel extraction, including pipelines. We demand comprehensive, non-Eurocentric, and intersectional climate education, including literacy on climate justice, environmental racism, ancestral and indigenous wisdom, on historical movements, disability justice, green careers, and sustainable living.
James, this is Pol Pot. This is terrifying.
Well, I mean,
this isn't even funny anymore.
No, it is funny because I'm looking at my bingo card here. I've got climate justice, environmental racism, disability. Bingo! You know, I got it. This is... Who writes this stuff? This is like being generated
we'll tell you who writes this stuff. Not her,
Guys,
not
this,
her.
Though, but this is the most ridiculous thing. This is being backed in by the United States Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, who retweeted this speech and said, how wonderful, this is the next generation of leadership, yada, yada, yada. And yet, if you listen to what she's talking about, you know, I mean, it's easy to say it's all a lot of goofy nonsense, but it is, at the heart of it, it is this thing where, you know, traditional Marxism, environmental Marxism, which has been around for decades, and now intersectional Marxism have all come together. So the fascinating thing here that everybody needs to watch is how intersectional politics are now going to be driving the climate wars, just as they've been driving the culture wars everywhere else. And this speech here is exactly where this is all going.
But Rita, that is pure out-and-out Marxism, as James said. It's the end of capitalism. Now, this is being touted by Joe Biden and that summit as this is the way forward.